Hey guys, in this video we're going to go over a USCF over-the-board game that I played from 2012. And in this game my opponent was rated 1830. This was one of the shortest over-the-board games that I've ever played. So the game starts out d4, e6. A little bit surprised by this move, but I'm thinking my opponent either wants Queen's Gambit declined or a Dutch. So I play c4, and then here my opponent plays c6. This really threw me off. I was figuring that black probably wants to play pawn to d5. At least I thought that's what his plan would be. So I thought for a few minutes and tried to figure out, how do I develop this position, and is there a way I can take advantage of this move order by black? So I played pawn to e4, putting 3 pawns up in the center, controlling a lot of space. Here my opponent played pawn to d5, and I played knight to c3. So what we're getting here is sort of like a Marshall Gambit position if my opponent plays d takes e4, and that's the critical move. That's the only way black can really combat this huge center that I have. But my opponent plays bishop to b4. So here I'm thinking, okay, d takes e4 was the Marshall Gambit. I know bishop to b4 is not the best move, but I didn't have memorized exactly how to take advantage of this move order. So what I played is pawn to e5. This gives us a French defense type position. I have both of these pawns kind of pointing towards the black king side, looking for an attack. My opponent plays knight to e7, and here I play a3. My thought process was, if black takes, I take back with the b pawn, ready to trade c4 for d5, and I have the 2 remaining bishops, so I have the bishop pair advantage. My opponent took, I took back, and here he castles. Now at this point I thought, okay, this is a fairly standard looking center position, but if you look at black's minor pieces, none of them are well placed. I also noticed that I still have these pawns pointing to the black king, and maybe I could get a potential kingside attack. So here I play knight f3, developing. My opponent plays knight to d7, not going for any pawn breaks. Why wouldn't black be playing for f6 or c5 or f5, trying to break open the center position? So here I play bishop to d3, with this little threat of bishop takes h7, the Greek gift. And here my opponent plays pawn to c5. I think f5 might have been the only way to stay in the game there. Pawn to g6 was also possible, but I believe f5 was still the best move. And here, bishop takes h7, and my opponent took. King takes back. So now I'm down a piece for the pawn. But here I have knight to g5 check. And after king to g6, I thought a bit about this move, and I've seen some Greek gift themes before. I played pawn to h4, and at this point my opponent resigned. If you look at the Stockfish evaluation, the computer is already saying that it's a 7-point advantage for white, because I'm going to play pawn to h5, king to h6, and then get a discovered attack on the king, and this position is completely falling apart for black. So this is my shortest over-the-board game, 12-move victory. Black resigned. The opponent was 1830. This is one of my favorite games. This was a miniature. I really enjoyed playing it. So thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not a subscriber. We'll see you in the next video.